Good morning and welcome to my assembly today on Remembrance Day. Today is the 11th of November and we remember all of those that have lost their lives during the war in the past, First and Second World War, but all the other conflicts that perhaps we don't always think about so much on this special day. Some of you may have seen memorial services happening over the weekend, most noticeably the one where the Queen lays her wreath at the Cenotaph in London. Events took place at football matches as well, where teams came together to have a minute's silence prior to their football matches, and quite often the last post was played at these matches, which you can hear later on in this slideshow. Why do we have Remembrance Day? Well, every year in November we celebrate Remembrance Day on this day, the 11th of November. Over 100 years ago, in 1914, we saw the start of the First World War, where many countries come together to fight against Germany after they invaded Poland, Czechoslovakia, Finland and also Holland at the very start of the war. 4 years later, on 11th November 1918, all of the countries finally agreed to stop fighting and the world became peaceful once again. As a result, every year on the 11th November we wear poppies to show that we remember those people that lost their lives. Remembrance Day, as I said, is on the 11th of November, which is today. A special day set aside to remember all of those men and women who were killed during the First and Second World War and also all the conflicts since. We mentioned that Remembrance Sunday is held on the Sunday nearest to the 11th of November, and special services were held on Sunday to remember those people. Many people wear poppies to remember the people who died. Wreaths like the one shown here being laid by the Queen are laid at memorials across the country in towns and cities. In World War I, a lot of fighting was done in countries called France and Belgium. Everything was destroyed. Buildings, roads, trees all vanished. Look at these pictures. Look, very bleak places. So much mud, water, destruction. Very little grew. The only thing they did see growing in those fields post-war were poppies. When all the fighting had stopped, these flowers grew all over the land that had been destroyed. And it made people a little bit happier that they could see little shoots of life happening once again in such bleak, torrid, horrible times. The poppies grow every year and they help remind us about the war. The poppies are sold by the British Legion and all of the money collected goes to help people that have suffered the results of war. It may have happened in the past, very distant past, still supporting families that lost loved ones during the war, helps people more recently that have been in more recent conflicts, and like this gentleman lost the lower part of his legs. Money has gone to him to help him live a more normal life, and probably paid for those prosthetics that he's wearing there. Each town in Great Britain has a war memorial. All of the poppies wreaths that you've made this year I will take down to the war memorial in the Old Town Stevenage. If you want to share that with your parents and families, you can perhaps go down there, obviously abiding by the social distance measures that are in place at the moment, but there's no reason why you couldn't go down as a family to view the wreaths that you've laid. I will also take pictures that can be shared on the school website.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place in the sky. The lark still singing bravely fly, scarce the herd amid the guns below. We are dead short days ago. We lived, felt down, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high, if we break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. By Gethin Jacobs.
So the wreaths that you've been making in class and will be sharing with us all in just a few moments, I will take them down to the Old Town like I said. At the time that I lay these and the times that you've been making them and we share them when we go around the classes, try and think about ways in which we can maintain peace in the future. It's your generation across the world, the children of today, that can help prevent war happening in the future. Perhaps thinking about being friendlier to people, being more understanding and supportive of each other, and simply liking and loving one another better than perhaps we have done in the past. perhaps getting around the table when we have a disagreement or a misunderstanding of someone else, rather than take the decision to go to war as often as we have done. Your acts of kindness that you show each other in the classes every day and at home with your families, they're just a very small but powerful way that if we all did that more often, not just with our family, not just with our friends, our classmates, our teachers, but if we did that with everyone that we come across in society, then maybe the world can be a much kinder place. Let's hope that Boris Johnson and other world leaders get together and take that view that getting along with each other, being friendly and more understanding, can play a positive role in preventing war happening again. At the end of this slideshow, or perhaps later on this morning after we've done our united 2-minute silence, if teachers could share this slide and click on the hyperlink there, you can listen to the last post, which you've probably heard many times before. But whilst it's being played, think about those messages that we've shared with each other today on how we can prevent war. And while it's being played, share a few seconds thought or minutes thought with those that have lost their lives. It's a very powerful, moving piece of music, but one which we can use in a positive way to help prevent war in the future. Those that died during the war would want us to know that they fought in unison with each other and their friends. They'd want us to know that during hard times they kept each other's spirits up with teamwork, which included making each other smile and laugh even during times where that seemed impossible. It's okay to think of those brave women and men and children, and indeed the animals that played their part during the war, and smile. This video clip I like to play each year is a demonstration of exactly the type of thing they would have done. They would have poked fun at the Germans at the time, poked fun in particular at Adolf Hitler, horrible man. I'm sure there were many funny jokes that were said and made of him to keep their spirits up. If your teachers can click this after I've finished, there's a funny poem which it's fine for all of you to have a bit of a chuckle over. And remember, like I said, that it was that spirit of keeping each other's spirits up and making each other's laugh that helped us get through the war. Thank you for listening to my assembly, and I look forward to seeing all your wreaths later on this morning.